Hello, everyone. A very common question that I receive a lot of times is when you should create a custom system for your needs. Let's say you're running a business and you have a need. Should you start from scratch or should you use a third party service? And it's a very common question and it is applicable to any field. For example, if you're looking for an email marketing solution, should you create should you hire a developer to create one for your needs from scratch, which might take 2 or 3 months? Or should you use a third party service where you pay them on a monthly basis, maybe 15, 20, or $30, and then start using it? Same goes with the CRM system. Should you create from scratch or use a third party service? Should you create a website from scratch or use a third party service? Should and it's a very common one with e-commerce as well. Should you create one from scratch or use a third-party service such as Shopify, and we have local options such as Zid. So my answer to you is actually a question: what are your needs, and will these needs will a third-party platform suffice your needs or not? This is one, and it's not the only question to answer. There's another one. Uh, how are you concrete about your business plan? Like, are do you want to be there in the market for more than 5 years? If that is one, and third, what is your budget? Okay, and I'll tell you why I asked this question. So second, if your business plan that okay, you know that you will be in the market providing the service or product that you're selling for more than 5 years, then all right, investing on a platform from scratch might be a good option because then you will keep updating that platform, building upon it, and in the longer run, even though in the start you will be paying more, but in the longer run, it will cost you less. This is one. Okay. And if you're concrete about your requirements, a lot of time what happens is that you're not concrete about your requirements. You do not understand your requirements very well. This can become very expensive because agencies or people programmers who are working for you, they charge you on hourly basis. Okay, and even if you don't they don't charge you on hourly basis, but if they sense your requirements are not clear, they will add that as a margin because they want to for them it's very difficult to ask you for more payment if later on you come with additional requirement or a change in requirement. All right, so it might the more concrete your requirements are, the less costly it will be. uh, that that can have another video on requirement formulation. But the third one is your budget. Like, do you have extra cash lying around and you want to put it into investing your on a system from scratch? That's great, but a lot of startups, they don't have that cash. Whatever cash they have, they want to invest in getting more customers so they can have more cash. So in that scenario, you might go with third party option because it only cost you $20, $30, maybe $50 per month, depending on the nature of the system that you're looking for. This is the same example. Actually, this is the same advice that you can use when you're buying a home. Okay, now if you're moving to a new place and should you buy the home right away? Now there are some people who say no, yes, buy the home because rent is an expense that you will keep paying. Uh, but then there is a cost associated with it. If you invest in buying a home, let's say uh, on an installment program, people say, okay, installment is just like rent, but the ownership will belong to you. But you have to consider that there is the cost of sticking to that place for maybe 5, 6, or maybe 20 years, depending on your installment program. So there is always a cost associated with something, unless and until you have a lot of cash. Okay, if you have a lot of cash, then it makes sense. Okay, you can buy the home, and again, you have to check what is the market for that place. Is it very high? Like, is it if tomorrow if you want to go and sell that home, how quickly you will be able to sell that home, right? In case of software systems, it's pretty tricky. The system that you're building, you cannot resell it. I know there are companies who resell their systems, but again, it depends if that system is high in demand or not. So you will actually have to go and let's say later on in future you want to sell that system. you will have to do additional work, customize it for another company. And I'm sure you will not go that path. You're not a software company. You're a company that is focusing on your product and service, and that software that you're building is for your own needs. So I hope you're able to understand building a software is tricky business, and it's much safer if you go with a third party option and then hire an agency who will manage it for you, because I know that even if you go with a third party option, they're very user friendly, that you can actually use them, but you might need an expert who can advise you on fully using that third party system. So, or maybe you don't need an agency. You are technical enough to understand the system yourself, and you can go with the third party option. Go with the third party option, and going with the third party option will give you the benefit of experimenting your business idea. So you don't have a huge cost associated with building that software from scratch. But at the same time, what you can do is using uh, at the same time, what you can do is you can use the software, the third-party software, to experiment your idea. Let's say you're selling a product and you do not know if there's a demand for this product in the market. So instead of investing your money in e-commerce, you invest it in marketing, and then just have a third-party platform which will give you e-commerce, and you see how the market responds with your marketing efforts. If there is a demand, and all right, people are buying your products, and it's been some years or maybe some months, and the product is still going high when it comes to demand, then you might think, all right, now it's much less costly if I go and invest on a third party. Sorry, I go and invest in my own e-commerce solution instead of paying a monthly fee to a third party provider. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I honestly, me being an IT service provider, building systems, we do build systems from scratch. You might ask, why am I giving this advice to you? It's our bread and butter, but it's also costly for us when customers come to us who are not uh, fit for fit for us as a customer. They were fit for a third party platform because of their budgets, because of their whatever stage they are in their business cycle or their business journey. So it becomes very painful that they went with us, they invested some amount, and now later on they realize that, all right, a third party option might be much better for them in that stage, and they might needed us maybe down the line after 3 or 4 years. So I hope this advice helps. Not a lot of service providers will give you this advice, because a lot of companies are looking just for a quick cash. But yeah, I believe the more knowledgeable you are, the better decisions you will make. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. It's Salah time here, Maghrib time, and yeah, and also weekend. So I wish you a happy weekend.